Hello everybody. I'm loving this. A little bit of a secret. Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Paul. This is Buster's Boy Camping. You join me at the Conkers and Camping and Caravanning club site here in Derbyshire, and this is heaven to me. This is heaven. I haven't been here for just over a month. I was last here on the 29th of February, I believe, and it's now the 2nd of April. The sun is shining, it is warm, it feels beautiful out. There's a light, gentle breeze, and this is just heaven. This is just fantastic. But it's not going to last forever, folks, because there is a dark cloud that is slowly coming this way, and we've had a mixture of rain and snow showers coming in from time to time. So I'm making the most of it, but yeah, I haven't been here for over a month, just over a month, and I am absolutely loving it. Now, I must stress, this isn't a wild camping video, this is a campsite camping video. Behind me is the Quechua 3XL fresh and black tent, a tent which is sadly discontinued. And the reason why I brought this tent was because I was initially going to be bringing my dog Buster along with me, and we were going to be camping out for the night. But unfortunately, the temperatures tonight are forecast to be between -4 and -7 degrees centigrade, and I would not subject my dog to that sort of temperature range. He loves his creature comforts, bless him. He likes to lay out in front of the gas fire when it gets too cold, and yeah, I just wouldn't do that to him. So he's at home, he's being looked after, and he'll be in a nice and warm, whilst I'm out here trying to keep warm in my 3 or 4 sleeping bags. I can't remember how many it is now, but yeah, I should hopefully be okay. So I will be talking to you about wild camping very soon. Obviously, this isn't a wild camping tent. You need a pump for this tent. It's not really stuff that you can carry on your backpack. So yeah, I will catch up with you in a little while once I've had this beer, and hopefully that rain shower is going to dodge me. Fingers crossed. Okay, that's our timer. Done. There we go. Let that cool down for a minute or two. I'm sitting here and all I can... I've forgotten how good it is. Peace and quiet. Something you may have seen about me, if you've watched all my previous videos, I have a skin condition. It's called vitiligo. And this is where I have patchiness on my skin of different colours. And it started a few years ago. I was going to the gym, just before we had Buster, actually. And it was a little spot, and it kind of grew and it spread. And it's incurable. I can't transmit it to anybody. It's not contagious in any way. It's just an autoimmune disease. As I say, it's incurable. I have to live with it. It doesn't really bother me, to be honest with you. It's just one of them things you go, okay, this is my life from now on. There we go. But there's something else that you probably don't know about me, and that is I have a condition called tinnitus, and this is like a ringing in the ears. For those of you who are old enough who remember the old static on the TV where you got that hissing sound, I live with that from the the second I wake up until the second I fall asleep. And again, incurable. It's made worse by high-pitched sounds, kids screaming, loud music, lots of loud music. And for that, I normally get either headaches, sometimes migraines, and it's not very pleasant. The skin condition, I'm not too bothered about. People either accept me for who I am or not, so I'm not really that bothered. But the tinnitus really is kind of debilitating in many ways, because it affects your quality of life. The colour of my skin, or patchiness or whatever, I ain't bothered, whatever. But the tinnitus is really hard. So coming to a place like this where it's predominantly quiet, peaceful, then for me, it improves my quality of life. And it makes this whole camping experience even more special. So there you go. That's just my experience. Other people may find that their tinnitus is brought on by other circumstances, but for me, it's predominantly screaming kids or loud music. And it's just one of them things. That's life for you. You grow with it. You have to get on with it. Anyway, my meal's about ready. Ooh, yeah. Oh. Okay, that's the bed set up for tonight. The forecast incidentally did say -4 for built-up areas, and for more rural locations, -7. Yeah, I think I'm going to be looking at the colder end. Good job I've got like 2 sleeping bags, a down quilt, 2 hats, gloves, and those foil things that go under to reflect the heat back up. But before this video goes on any further, I want to talk to you about wild camping, because I have been doing wild camping practicing right here, right at this very place. Out here, I can almost see the marks that I left. That tree is my sort of indicator. Now, the reason why I've been doing wild camping practicing, for those of you who don't know, who haven't seen those videos, I have something called Achilles tendinopathy, and it affects my left ankle. Now, this pain can literally be non-existent to being very mild, where you little twinge every now and again, to being excruciatingly painful. This can be feeling like you've got a pair of pliers on the back of your ankle, like squeezing, or like a garden spade. You're walking along, got no pain, all of a sudden it feels like someone's got a garden spade and literally just rammed in the back of your ankle. It's like you're walking along like no problem at all, and yeah, like that. That's how bad it is. And it can take you unaware anytime, and then you can't walk. Seriously, at times you cannot walk. Now, everything was going okay. It got to March and it was improving. It was like, okay, it's been like 7 or 8 days since I had any pain, and it was like a little bit of pain. Then another time it'd be like, oh, okay, 9 days since I last had any pain. And then March came along. March the 4th, I believe it was a Saturday, and a friend of mine and I decided to go to the cinema, but we got there a little bit early, so we had a little bit of a walk around town. Nothing strenuous, just having a walk around the shops and having a hot dog and just showing my friend around my local town. And then my pain in my ankle came along, and I watched that movie in pain. And the next day, the Sunday morning, I woke up and I was in a lot of pain, and it was hard work even going to the toilet. I just couldn't walk, and I had to phone in sick on the Monday, and I hate doing that. I absolutely hate phoning in sick. I took a night off work, and then even then it took a week for the pain to sort of subside a bit. Really terrible pain. On the Monday, I phoned up the doctors and I got myself booked in for physiotherapy. But unfortunately, that doesn't begin until May. And the first one of that is a telephone appointment. So at the moment, I did plan to go wild camping in May. I had it all set out. I had an idea of where I was going to be going. I was getting down to planning it almost step by step. The wild camping practicing that I've been doing here had been enormously helpful. I realised that I'm going to be taking the Jetboil Zip. I was edging towards the Nature Hike Cloud Peak 2 tent. And I've got all that sorted. And then literally I'm like 8 weeks away or 6 weeks away from going on my first wild camping. And then, yeah, March the 4th, back to square one. So I've been doing wild camping practicing here because my car is just here. If I have a problem with my ankle, I'm here. I can still drive. Okay, it's a manual car and I have to use the clutch with my left foot, but I can still do that. I can still operate the clutch. I can still drive. But it's not like I'm going to be going wild camping and putting 20, 30 kilos on my back and then hiking 5, 6, 7 miles, putting extra strain, extra weight onto my ankle. That's just not going to work. So wild camping at the moment is out of the question for the moment. Yeah, I'm gutted. I'm really gutted. I had everything planned and I'm sorry I can't do wild camping as I planned. It's a dream of mine. It's an itch I have to scratch, but it's gonna have to be put off for a meantime. How long the physiotherapy goes on for, how long the recovery time, I don't know, but I'm gutted. I really am. I love camping. I love getting away from it. Or I love the freedom, the feeling of just being totally alone. And as much as I want to do it, my body's let me down, and I apologise. And if my ankle being the way it wasn't bad news in itself enough, this thing, the Trekology UL140, seems to have a very intermittent leak. Sometimes it stays up, sometimes it doesn't. And I put it in the bath with water and tried to find any leaks, can't find any. I've checked all the valves, again, can't find any issues. Sometimes it stays up, sometimes it doesn't. I'm still using the electronic pump, the Flextail Gear 2020 Max pump. Now, some people have suggested the fact that maybe it's hot air that's coming out of that pump. Hot air expands a little bit like in a hot air balloon. Maybe when that condenses, when it cools, that's the reason why it's going down. But I've checked the Flextail Gear pump and I've checked the temperature of the air that's coming out of it, and there's no temperature variation in it at all. So that rules out that. All I can say is the fact that if this pad goes down tonight and it doesn't get me through the night, then I'm afraid that is the end for me and the Trekology UL140, and I will be replacing it with a cheap and cheerful airbed from either somewhere like Go Outdoors or something like that, because I can't afford to keep shelling out 40, 50, 60 pounds for a pad that's going to possibly let me down after a few camping trips. So yeah, that is unfortunate. Well, it's a little while ago since last time I spoke to you. As you can see, it's actually got dark. I'm in the tent. Yes, I know it's a blackout bedroom, but it is pitch black out there. You can see all the stars. And when I was speaking to you before, there was potential for a stunning sunset. And I was like, oh, gotta get the camera, gotta get the camera. I just couldn't concentrate, so I had to get the camera out. The amateur photographer in me had to take some photographs. And unfortunately, the sunset didn't really materialise. It kind of fizzled out a little bit, but you know, you have to be in it to win it. But before, I was talking to you earlier about my ankle playing up, how much of a disappointment it was. My pad, it has a leak, or it seems to have a leak, and yeah, it's that It's that irritating. But something good has also happened because I still can't believe I'm saying it. I bought a boat. Or to be more precise, I bought a kayak. Yeah. And that is because whenever I go to the Lake District, and I go to the Lake District maybe 2, maybe 3 times a year, I love it. And I want to explore, I want to see more of it, and I want to see it from a different perspective as well. And it's kind of intrigued on me. It's kind of been, been thinking about it, but I couldn't afford a hugely expensive one. As I say, money is hard to come by, as we all know at the moment. Petrol prices going up and a lot of things going on in the world right now, and money doesn't stretch as far as it used to. So I went for a Intex K2 kayak. It's a 2-seater kayak, and yeah, I went for that one. I wasn't going to go for one of the more expensive ones for obvious reasons, because I say money's a little bit hard to come by, and if I don't like it and I'm only going to be using it a couple of times a year, then I can't justify spending £300, maybe £400 on a kayak. So there we go. I'm going to be bringing that to the channel. I'll probably be wearing a GoPro strapped to my forehead and showing you lovely people my kayaking adventures. I am actually quite a strong swimmer, but because of my ankle and that, I still want to make sure the fact that I can still swim okay, even with pain. So I will be going to the leisure centre on Tuesday this week. I've booked in there for a 50-minute swim just to see how it plays up, because if the boat does capsize, and obviously then I need to be able to swim. I've got a buoyancy aid, like a red vest that arrived the other day, so that will help in that situation, but I still need to be able to swim to ride the kayak and everything like that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I really am. And as I say, I'll be bringing that video to the channel at some point this year, so keep an eye out for that. All right, as I say, it's just gone 9 o'clock at night. I'm really tired. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. I had to feed the dog this morning. He was pestering me to get up. Seems like a long day. So I'm going to go to bed now. I've got my gloves and I've got my head hat, I don't know, headscarf to keep me nice and warm. I can feel the temperature's definitely dropped. So I'm going to see you in the morning. And yeah, let's hope we've got a nice crisp frost in the morning and it's not cold, wet and damp. And I hope it's not too cold. So I shall see you in the morning, and yeah, see you then. Wow, I knew it was cold. Morning, everybody. Wow. Frosty mornings, you can't beat them. Well, good morning, everybody. Oh, wow, what a night. Super, super night. Absolutely loved it. You can tell the frost on this tent that we had a really cold one. The condensation on the inside is just, well, there we go. There's the evidence how cold it was. It was really cold to begin with. I couldn't get warm for about 40 minutes. I went to bed just after 9 o'clock and it was really cold the first, 45 minutes. Then I just fell asleep. Then woke up about 5:30, checked my phone, and it said it was -4, and it felt colder as I was in bed to begin with. So I think we probably got down to about -6, possibly. But I was totally warm when I woke up. I was really, really warm. I didn't notice it. I noticed there was a little bit of frost on my eyebrow. So I knew it was cold during the night. And the inside the tent, even in here, well, there's ice inside the tent. You can just about see that. There's a little bit of condensation that's frozen on the inside the tent. So it was definitely cold, but I had 2 sleeping bags and I had a down quilt in between. The Trekology pad stayed up the whole night, but for winter camping, I definitely wouldn't recommend it, because when I was laying on my back, I did notice there was some cold there, and that's despite these foil mats that you can see just down here. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend the Trekology pad if you're thinking about going this sort of time of year when there's going to be a frost. Maybe you're going to want something like a Thermarest or 10 Seater Summit pads with a high R value. But yeah, the Trekology pad did stay up, which was fine by me, and the little bit of cold I felt on my back I could deal with, so it wasn't too bad. But anyway, yeah, I've had a fantastic time. I'm really glad I came. I've just had that little bit of break from the world, and I feel fantastic. I love my camping. I'm gonna have a cup of coffee now, so yes, great. Ooh. Wow, cappuccino, nothing like it. I've really enjoyed myself. I've had a fantastic time. It's been cold, it's been chilly, but you know what? I feel so much better than what I did when I arrived here yesterday. I just feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. There was a slight mishap though. It's not all been plain sailing. When I was boiling the water for this cappuccino, I knocked over a beer can, I had a little bit of beer in. Last night I was sat out here watching the sunset, the last bits of it. It wasn't great sunset, but you know, it was a sunset. And I had a few beers, and then all of a sudden it got really, really cold. I was like, ooh, got to get in, it's turning chilly. So literally I put everything in, got into bed, and yeah, that was it. And then this morning, of course, I'm like sorting out my coffee, knock over a beer can, beer goes everywhere. I'm like, oh, didn't want that. Don't want a tent smelling of beer for the rest of its days. So it was a mad rush to try and get everything cleared up so that it doesn't have that. So okay, I've got a pillow that stinks of beer at the minute, but I can chuck that in a washing machine. I can't chuck the tent in a washing machine. Yeah, there we go. And another mishap as well is, you notice sometimes I wear a little square thing here. It's called a Rode Wireless Go. It's a wireless transmitter. I went to bed last night with that bit still switched on, unbeknownst to me. The bit on top of the camera, that was turned off. So now I'm having to use one of these microphones that are, hello, you see, but the further away I go, sounds less. Hello, 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 hello. And there we go. Well, I'm having to use that at the moment because I'm having to recharge using a power bank, my Rode Wireless Go transmitter. Well, that's not done yet, hence the reason why I've got the dead cat on top of the camera and I'm so close to the camera. Oh yeah, I've had a really great time. But I'm going to enjoy this cappuccino, and then I've got to literally bundle this all the way in the car. The tent, because it's got so much ice and frost over it, it's got condensation on the inside and as well, it's going to have to be put up in the garden. Hopefully we get a little bit of warmer weather and hopefully it can thaw out there. But at the moment, I can't really pack that away because it's just going to be damp. If I put that away in the loft or in the shed, it's just going to be damp and it's going to be no good. I need that tent. I love that tent. That tent's the best tent I've got for camping trips in a campsite. It is. Right, I'm going to enjoy this cappuccino, then I'm going to get packed away, so I'll catch you in a little while. If you can hear me right now, it means one thing. It means I can't sing. But it does mean the fact that this Rode Wireless Go is fully charged again. That's why it was from distance. It means I don't have to get really close and personal like this, which is kind of awkward, isn't it? Oh yeah, by the way, when I'm doing this segment, if I'm like doing this, it's not the fact I'm rehearsing for Strictly Come Dancing or Dancing with the Stars for those of you in the States. it means I'm cold. It is chilly, even though I've got a down jacket on. It is cold. But anyway, folks, I couldn't let this video go without asking you for a brief moment. If you found this video in any way helpful or in a weird way entertaining, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel and clicking on that little bell icon to be notified of all future video releases. It really does help the channel no end moving forward. My goal, I don't think I'll ever get to it, but is 1,000 subscribers, and I would go through the roof if I got to 1,000 subscribers. I think I'd come along and greet you all and shake you all by the hand and give you a big hug, and yeah, if I got to that, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm working really hard at this. Buster's Boy Camping is releasing 2 videos a month now. One where I'm at somewhere like this, where I'm at a campsite with facilities and all that, with any number of tents. Eventually wild camping, once this ankle has got a little bit better. It's actually quite good today, which is quite weird because normally the cold kind of affects it. But yeah, I'll be going wild camping, campsite camping, and sometimes I'll have to be going garden camping, you know, when the campsites are all fully booked and ankle's still going, no, not today. There will be garden camping as well. So yeah, campsite camping, wild camping eventually, and garden camping as well. So all that's the feature. That'll feature on the first Friday of every month, and then on the third Friday of every month you can expect to see the gear show, the Buster's Boy Camping Gear Show. This is where I take any of my products, like this mug, this X mug, that's a product. My tables, you know, my tent, that's gear. All this is gear. I take one of these products and I spread a little bit more light onto it. Spread a little bit more light, and I show you its many features and benefits. It's a mug, it holds drink. Drink tastes nice, mug's good, that sort of thing. So I will be doing that, and that will appear on the third Friday of every month. So if you want to have a little look at those, please consider subscribing to the channel, clicking on that bell icon. And if you're going to be commenting, please tell me what sort of camping you're into, and tell me what part of the world you're from, because it's really interesting. I love to see it. I had one the other day, it was like Germany. Great, that's fantastic, that's amazing. Mexico, wow, it's incredible. I love all this YouTube. It's hard work, but I love it. So thank you all to everyone who has subscribed so far. Thank you very much. If I come along, greet you, give you a big hug, handshake, maybe a kiss on the cheek, I would. Maybe that's not a good thing after all. A handshake, then I would. So yeah, I love this YouTube thing. It's blown my mind, it really has. But time is ticking on, folks, and my cappuccino is slowly turning to ice. And yeah, I've got to get this packed away, so I shall speak to you in a moment. But please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Liking, commenting, and I can't say commenting, commentating. I don't know. Commenting and subscribing to the channel. Clicking on the little bell icon. Bye-bye. I'm going to drink the ice, my ice cappuccino. Okay, I've just taken everything out of the tent. The tent's all now clear. I've just literally just bundled it straight in the car. There was no need for filming that. Now, I'm not going to put it into its normal bag because this is just going to come straight out. So I've got this 100-litre dry bag, which I bought for my kayak, actually. But yeah, this is 100 litre. Oh. That's not good. I've just realised that's going back. I can't believe that. That's the first time I've actually used that. Good job I didn't take it out in the water, isn't it? Wow. I had the vents open all night to allow any condensation to dissipate. Didn't work 100%, but it could have been worse. Wow, that ground is definitely solid. And then again, we've got more guide ropes at the back. And they just go straight back in there. It's incredible design, absolutely incredible. Very, very impressed with this tent. Doesn't take many pegs as well. That's another benefit with it. And it's solid as a rock. And that's that done. And then the all important my dog hates this. Yeah, he hates that. Right, because this is going to be super wet with all the ice and the condensation on the outside, I'm going to take my down jacket off because the last thing I want to do is get my down jacket wet. It doesn't do it any good. Try and contain as much moisture as I can. So I'm going to use the foil. Basically, we're going to sandwich it up. It's not brilliant, but it will do. And then finally, just go around making sure I've left nothing behind. It's easily done. I've done it before with a camera battery that I left behind. Which is odd because it was red. It was an Insta360 one, just got lost somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Left no trace. Again, even if you're at a campsite, I think it's good practice to do because it just keeps you in that mindset. Every time you leave somewhere, make sure you leave it in the same condition that you found it in. Okay, left nothing laying around. That's it. That's another one done. And for me, it's quite sad actually because this is the last time I'm going to be here for a long time. I've been using the Conkers Camping and Caravanning Club site as a base during the winter period. And it's been a godsend, it's been a real lifeline. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone at the Camping and Caravanning Club, and in particular, all the staff at the Conkers Camping and Caravanning Club, because this is quite local to me. It's about 25-minute, 30-minute drive away. It means I can come to a campsite, I can try out new gear, I can try out new tents like the Nature Hike Cloud Peak 2. I've had a blast here. I've had a really, really good time. In this very spot, I was wearing my Santa hat on the 17th of December camp. I've got some really good memories here. I've had a fantastic time. So thank you to everyone at the club. Thank you for keeping sites like this open. It's put a smile on my face every time, even the time when the weather was bad. But other sites are opening up around the country. It's time to venture further afield and explore again. So I'm going to go now, and I shall see you again, no doubt, in the next one. So time for me to go. Take care, folks. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. See ya.